At pressure passing last time, let's just build another little sequence and we're going to look at the arm triangle, which is slightly different from our arm triangle. So we talked about if Carl was playing a sit-up guard, I want to be level changing, finding his feet and getting him on his back, okay? Opening the space and moving into headquarters, and then I can pin a hip, this hip and lever concept, and start to run his knee to the mat. Options to cut cross pass, but maybe Carl's making blockades. I can then go for a Torianda pass, so I'll actually take my right leg from outside his legs. I start shelving his knee this way and moving his hips so his knees are facing this way. So then we looked at lower body control. So I've got my elbow underneath his left armpit. From there we wanted to be controlling the lower hips. So my right hand's going to find his hamstring. We talked about pulling that leg across, then underhooking the bottom leg. And then my left hand made the grip. Okay. Every arm triangle I need Carl flat on his back. I don't want him on his side. If he's on his side, he's got mobility. So we talked about how I could use this to flatten Carl out. And again, a lot of the time they're framing. They don't want you coming up their body. They don't want you moving up this way. So anytime I can get my elbow under Carl's, I can hit this arm triangle. Most of the mistakes they make or we make from this position is not coming high with our body. So if I bring this arm around and start to move up his body, look where Carl's arm is. It's sort of low in this position here, and I kind of want it more up this way. So once we get to here and I get the bite, think of when you were at school and I want to make Carl ask a question. So from here, I'm bringing my elbow high and I'm moving my body up so Carl's actual left arm is above his head. Then I reach back and I find that. So this is an arm triangle. If you think about a triangle, more than often you think about this movement here, whereby his arm is over my shoulder, and then we would finish obviously from the mount, or I would bail to side control and finish it from here. If you've noticed, I had to go to mount, or I had to move to Carl's left hand side. The good thing about the arm triangle is I can stay on the same side. Okay, so let's talk about the mechanics of finishing. It is a blood choke, so I want to walk and I want my left bicep tight to Carl's right jugular. Any space here, like we've talked about, I need connection on the choke. So once I'm here, okay, now I need to get his left shoulder pushed into his left jugular. Slightly different than the arm triangle, I'm going to use my chest. So I'm just going to bring my chest over the top of his tricep. Again, I think a good habit when you're drilling is try to finish things one-handed, because if you can do it one-handed, two grips is going to be even easier. So from there, it's just really about connection. I'm going to start moving my body up. Now this will take a little longer than the basic arm triangle, okay, because it's not as snug. But we just want to put that pressure on here. And it'll take a little minute, and he's on. So imagine if I start using hands. So options with the hands, yes, I can go hand to hand and start to squeeze and bring my head towards the mat. That's one option. Or I can find my bicep, bring this in, cross his face, and again. Sometimes when you start bringing your hands into the equation, then you don't really use your chest as much and you're starting to use upper body squeeze, and then you're tanking your arms. So a good habit is just to make that grip and just think about finishing it. That's effortless there. Now just make a connection. So just from that position there. So I get us back on the mat. Okay, I step into headquarters. I use hip and lever. Maybe I was going for the knee slice and he's kind of filling that space, so I'll take that leg back and I just shelf it, and then I can just spike him with my shoulder, bringing my left elbow across. I turn to face his legs. So now we're looking at lower body pins. So again, this is the danger leg. This is the one Carl wants to bring this behind me and get at my back and stuff. So yes, I can hang on to it. A little bit difficult and no gi, so I'm just gonna pull this one across and underhook it. Move now, Carl. Now I want to get him onto his back. That's the detail of the Kesagatame. You can't look for the head and arm unless you have two shoulders pinned. So we make that grip and then we used our elbow. Okay, and now I'm just feeling where his arm is. Now sometimes his arm won't be there, but more than likely he's framing. He wants to keep me at his hips. He doesn't want me moving chest to chest. So this arm lets go and I bring it across, but I don't bring it behind his head yet. I'm going to physically move my body up and then I bring it under. So I want his arm over his neck. Does that make sense? Sometimes if you go early, the arm ends up trapped there and then you've nothing to fill that space. So we're thinking about that, okay? And now just make sure you have connection. Biggest mistake people make is there's space here, there's their arm there, and there's no connection. So just do that out of the Adams family. What do you call that wee hand that goes across? It's there.
No thing.
Then I make that grip. So now I have connection with my bicep. Now I'm starting to bring my chest over his tricep. I want to put all my weight in that. I can physically lift my knees off the mat and just make connection. When I add in my hands, it's even easier. Let's go to the mat, or I can find that mat on grip and start. Squeeze. For those that were in on Thursday night's class, octopus guard, you can hit it from there as well. Knee shield position. Arm tries to cross face me. I make that initial grip. I brought my elbow inside. I come up. I make the grip, and then from there, I just hit him with the hip pump. I brought it across. It's there again. Okay, so we're here. Probably it's difficult for me to get chest to chest, so I would be looking to free that leg first. Does that make sense? And then from there, we can start. I don't like that grip. Sometimes you get people that are really good at bridging. Ugh. So I like this. So maybe Carl bridges, and then just post. You know, and then I'm in. Okay, let's roll that, guys.